Yeah, I got a. I actually picked up the PlayStation just for casting, pretty much.
Really?
I'm gonna. Yeah, yeah.
How
I'm
have you
gonna.
found the controller?
I do, and it's got these weird things on
They're
them.
called buttons.
There's like it's a square and a triangle. Like
Wow.
they push too. It's crazy, and they got triggers. Like, what the hell is this?
Well, the
And it
thing
like
is obviously
there's a
I got slightly
touchpad.
fat thing. Oh, I'll tell you something though, for guys who got the controllers and stuff. I bought this controller predominantly for the reason of playing speedrunners. Now, if you guys have not played speedrunners on Steam, I cannot recommend it highly enough. But the caveat I will say is play with people you are good friends with and have been through a lot with, because it is, at its heart, a hate your friend simulator. You will end up hating your friends because of the stuff that you can do with it. It's just such a fantastic game. When I play it, I swear like a Scottish welder. It's quite impressive.
I think we should get the goat game that just came out.
Oh God, no! Everyone's jumping on the goat bandwagon.
I know.
It's just
Have you
like,
seen the commercial for it though?
yeah, I've seen the Steam page for it as well, and it's just like,
Oh my
we're not
god!
going to fix any bugs. We're just going to leave them in there because it looks hysterical.
But
But you know,
that's the point of it though. It's just a fuck
yeah.
around mod. But no, I like the commercial that came out because it's the like a parody of the what was it, Dead Island?
Yes, I saw where the goat comes out the window backward. That was just brilliant. That was, yeah. I do wish it's just, you know, it's kind of games developed with a sense of humour, and I like that. Games
Yeah.
that don't take themselves too seriously, because there's a danger of that in a lot of stuff that's going on. People do take themselves way too seriously, and they basically need to lighten up.
Oh yeah. It's like
I just lost all my subscribers.
what did I play the other day? Yeah, they're all gone. Who the hell are these guys? Get over here.
What is
Well,
going
right
on?
now we're being
Saying,
cut in half by the overlay. So.
Yeah, I'm working on that right
Oh
now.
no. Trouble in Terrace Town. You ever play that? It's a
No.
CS mod. Oh my god, that is fun. Like I can't really explain it. You just have to go check it out.
I have to say, Prop Hunt does look like a laugh. That does look
Yes. Oh my god. for
describing
TF2?
yeah, basically disguising yourself as not orange.
Yeah.
That has
Oh
to be
man. Who is it? Shibby2142.
Yeah,
Do you know who I'm talking about?
Yeah.
yeah, I think so. Yeah.
He does some epic prop hunt videos. Like
So does Doom49 used to do some, and I know for a fact Own Record does some as well, which are
Yeah.
quite amusing. They're quite fun.
It's like everybody, yeah. I mean, everybody's doing those.
Yeah, that's the thing, you see. I mean, that's one thing that I mean, speaking from a YouTube point of view, one thing I try and make a conscious attempt not to do is bandwagon jump. I mean, you know, there were people out there, you know, all power to them, who were doing Minecraft and stuff like that, but I made a conscious decision not to do Minecraft on my channel, because there are so many good Minecraft channels out there that I knew for a fact, you know, I'd rather focus my attention elsewhere. But unfortunately, you do get some channels who will jump on the Minecraft bandwagon in order to increase their subscriber base.
well, you're gonna get that anyways with anything that's out there. I mean,
Yeah,
they're just
true.
gonna
Yeah.
do it. It's like for instance, and this is nothing against anybody out there that would be interested in it, but back in BF3 when I started gaining viewers for casting, I had people that were coming out of the woodwork saying that they're going to cast, and they'd attempt it, and they didn't get that initial success, so they kind of dropped it out of it. But I think that if anything that people see that there is because they may enjoy a particular game, but if they see a potential and huge amounts of numbers coming out of it with very little effort, they're going to jump on it. That's just all there is to it. That's what YouTube has turned into, in my opinion.
Yeah, that is unfortunately the case with a lot of the things. And the thing is it's like, it's kind of funny because the amount of times that you have people come in and say, oh yeah, you know, you're a terrible shoutcaster, you're terrible at this and terrible at that. And, you know, it's just like, hey, you know, it's fine, you're entitled to your opinion, prove you're better. But then all of a sudden they don't actually get around to proving they're better, you know. That's something that tends to happen quite a lot, especially with the YouTube comments, is you always get people saying, oh, you're terrible, but they won't actually give you any decent feedback. Oh,
Yeah.
this is terrible, this is horrible, all the rest of it and stuff like that. It's like, well, the way I see it, prove you're better, otherwise shut up.
Well, just give me some constructive feedback. Why don't you like
Well, no,
it?
no. The thing is some people are incapable of giving constructive feedback because they don't know what constructive fucking means. That's the problem.
Yeah.
They don't understand the word. You know, it's so. The thing is, you know, to those people, I just say, fine. Prove to me and prove to an audience that you are better, and I'll say, fine. I hold up my hands. You're better than me. Otherwise, you know, if you're not prepared to put your money where your mouth is, then you know. The thing is, part of the problem that you have with YouTube is the fact that people will start. I mean, this is not a criticism of America, but you do tend to see a lot of people who will basically say freedom of speech, right? But freedom of speech, freedom of speech basically enables you to say whatever you want. It does not excuse you from the consequences of saying something fucking stupid.
Yeah.
That's the difference.
No, I can't.
Freedom of speech, in my opinion, only goes so far until it gets to a point where it infringes on me. You know,
it's not freedom from responsibility of what you say.
Exactly.
That's a terrible excuse right there, and God, I hate it. But yeah,
I mean,
I can't really say too much on the YouTube front because I'm a lazy YouTuber. If you look at my channel, 95% of it all comes from Twitch, from me highlighting stuff and then posting it up. So I'm a very lazy YouTuber. I don't put a lot of effort into it. I know, Chadman, you put tons of effort in yours. You have thumbnails. You go through, you edit it, all that kind of stuff. I don't. I got into YouTube basically because I saw Thready's video, Full Metal 2. I saw him in that video, which in my opinion is still one of the best Battlefield frag movies ever. But as soon as he threw the C4 up in the air, blew up the helicopter, I was like, I can do that. I can put it on YouTube. I can get 250,000 viewers. And then I recorded my first gameplay, and I put it in an editor, and I said, fuck this. I don't have the patience for it. I'm not doing this. So I took the lazy route. You know, I just posted up some random gameplays, and then thankfully got into competitive where I don't have to be very, you know, attentive to it, and I could just throw stuff on there from my cast. But
that's, I think, one of the wonderful things that Twitch has given is that ability to be very impulsive and just to be able to basically do things off the top of your head because, yeah, like I was saying, there's not a lot of editing required when you're doing a shoutcast because you literally pretty much edit it on the fly while you're working on it.
Yeah, exactly. All the scenes, all the switching, all the overlays, everything that you do it's done before the show.
It's done live as part of the production.
Yeah, I love going live. Every single one of my commentaries, I love it. The few commentaries that I have on mine, which are mostly channel updates, but there's a few commentaries that I have done on my channel. Every one of them was the first take, one take, all the way through.
That's how I do all mine.
I hate going back and editing, and I watch some of these other guys on their YouTube channel, and you can tell, you know, where they've edited consistently, where they've started to go on a little bit of a rant, and they bring themselves back.
Mine's
to
all stream of consciousness. Otherwise, it's too fabricated.
Yeah, I don't have the patience for it to do that.
Yeah, but the thing is also, to a certain degree, I like to show sometimes those occasional random tangents that I have, and you know, because as far as I'm concerned, it's the this is why I don't. If I do a montage, I'll do a montage that is 50% me screwing up royally as it is me doing something awesome. Because what depresses the fuck out of me is that it's just like, look at this awesome montage and look how awesome I am and etc. etc. It's just like, so out of the 300 shots that you've shown us in this particular video, what about the 500,000 other shots that you missed while trying to get these these X amount of shots? It's just, it's essentially what it is you know, you're saying I am the best because of all these awesome shots. It's just like, no.
Speaking of montage, you pulled that up. I'm looking over here at my directory. I have 14 started montages that I have never finished, going back 2 years ago.
I think I've only done one montage, and that was for Chivalry.
I can't do it on the clips. I am a fairly decent Battlefield 3 sniper. I have a couple videos up on my channel, but for the most part, if you go back through my my live streams, that's one of the reasons why I like live streaming, because I can show those consistent shots, you know. But I love sniping for Battlefield 3, and I was really decent at it, really good at it actually. And it was funny because I had a guy, I posted up a video of some of my shots, and he said, "Oh, you're nothing. You know, these guys, they do this, this, and this, and this, and this." I'm like, dude, I've played with a couple of those guys. They're shit players. They've spent hours.
Well, that's what it is.
Hours
Mm-hmm.
to get a few of those good clips. Like, I can go into a server and get this. I'm not trying to be too cocky, but I mean, it's like, no.
You know what? Yeah. It's like, for me, the sign of a good player, go into a server with competitive players and show a good ratio. I mean, when I've played against competitive players, I've been beaten like a rented mule. And, it's essentially, that's the deal as far as I'm concerned. I mean, I do. A friend of mine was as a COD player, and he was like, "Oh yeah, did this fantastic. I jumped off the building, 360 no scope." It's just like, why are you telling me
Why
this
ladder
shit?
stall?
Yeah, exactly. It's just like, why are you telling me this? I don't actually give a shit. I love you. You're one of my closest friends, but don't tell me this crap again, please. It's just like, because all it does is, it just gives me the urge to want to kill you.
Yeah. Chad, can you link your channel in chat? Somebody's asking for it.
Yeah, sure thing.
I got it. I can get you. I got it right here, actually.
So, as far as competitive players go, it's really funny when people come in there and they say, competitive players, they're not good because they do certain things. Well, what's your definition of a good player? Is it somebody who gets a really good KD? Is it somebody who
People
gets
really
on the
say
objective?
that on a competitive cast?
Oh, God, yeah.
About
Really?
what?
They'll say the people in that cast aren't good? Like,
Oh yeah. Oh, they'll call them campers. They'll call. Oh yeah, dude. You'll get all kinds of stuff coming into a cast. I've had them straight up just say, these guys are lame. I could take them down, no problem. I've had. I was doing the gaming grids event, and Chapman actually worked with me on that one. We were doing the gaming grids cast, and we had people that were coming in saying, "Oh, I could go in there and beat them, 1-on-5." Really? Like, you're just talking out your ass right now. Like, there's no way that you could even hang with a lot of these guys. And the thing is, too, is that they don't get enough credit. Some of the best montages out there are comp montages, and people go, you see him posted up on Reddit, you see him posted up in some of these sites, and they're like, well, what's so special about it? The most he got was 3 kills in a row. This is a 5v5 competitive game where they are using the best of the best guns. These players know every little nook and cranny about the map. They know timings, they know pushes, they're communicating. Every one of them is talking to each other on TeamSpeak. And they pull off these amazing feats to a competitive player. But a pub player sees that and they're just like, yeah, so he got 3 or 4 kills, whatever. He got 3 or 4 kills in a 5v5. Like, that's impressive.
Against
shit.
some of probably the best players in the world,
in
or whatever.
this game.
I mean,
game.
I remember watching a battle between Infused and Fnatic, and it was on Operation Locker, which is generally regarded as one of Fnatic's best map. And I was actually watching while they were in the A point, which is obviously the infirmary, and behind that little desk in the infirmary, which I have to say is probably the most well-armored desk I've ever seen in my entire fucking life. Hadoukens was just wow. I want one of them Kevlar reinforced desks. I was watching Hadoukens, and I was watching through his eyes as he literally stopped a 3-man push from Fnatic into that, killed all 3 of them down. And we were just like, we were watching that in the car. To me, that is a holy shit moment, because that's a game turner.
It's a game, but that's what it is, and that's what I was going to talk about. It's like, as a guy, I'm relatively new to competitive. I mean, Brett, I've been harassing you in your streams and stuff. Basically, Battlefield 4. It takes a while to gain that appreciation, and that's kind of what I was hitting on with the crosshairs and things. And there's certain elements that are missing for just the casual guy that's just moseying through one of your streams. Is there's not that, holy shit, this guy is good. It's really...
it's because they have no frame of reference. They haven't gone up against that person and basically, I'll 1v1 you, and then they walk out of the server with, 3 to minus 108 or something like that.
Well, that's why I liked when you played with them, because it wasn't me playing, but I knew you weren't necessarily like an Apex competitive player. You're a guy going in and playing, so I could be like, well, I see what he's doing. I do a lot of those same things.
Exactly.
And I think I'm a good player. I think I have call-outs, and I'm hearing you frustratingly try to... You realize that they have call-outs, and you've got general direction. And I appreciated that, and that gave me a point of reference. And that's why when you were thinking about it, I was like, no, please post it. And I was like, I'd love to take a look at that, because...
that was such a fantastic learning experience, and for that, my grateful thanks will go out to the Infuse guys for letting me tag along. They were very generous and and very supportive, and didn't laugh at me too much. But it was as a result of that, it was
For what it's worth,
you
I
know,
thought you did pretty good.
yeah. I mean, the thing is, I've kind of you know, it's been said. Somebody described me as an above average player, which I take as a compliment as far as I'm concerned. I know I'd never be competitive because I just don't have the time. I know what's involved. The thing is, right, is that I know what it's like to be part of essentially a competitive team. I played my first ever online game, albeit, okay, it was a World War II flight sim, but the team that I played for, we played in leagues, we played in competitive aspect. We retired undefeated after 2 years. We were never, ever beaten by anybody, ever. And so, and the thing is people hated us because of that. I got hate because of that. I had to fly under aliases because you would never get any peace and quiet. Yeah, seriously. You know, and the thing that made it worse for a lot of people is that we had actually established a band of players who were really good in their own right, but for some reason gelled fantastically together as a team. So it was almost, there was an unspoken aspect. And bear in mind, this was done without any voice comms. This was all done in text chat. The communication is like, oh, can you go and suppress that runway? And we'd send 2 guys over. Nobody would get off that runway for the rest of the entire game. And so as a result, people hated us because they would practice and they'd do this strat and they'd do this and they'd do this and they'd do this. And we would just, I mean, like what they did, right, is there was a ratio thing where you basically had kills minus deaths divided by crashes. One match we won by 183 points to minus 90. Now, what happened is you also had these things called, they were stars. If you got 5 kills and didn't die, you got a star. Okay, they were known as bullet magnets in the game. And so what happened is that at the end of this game, every single member of my team had 3 to 4 stars each, the whole team. And yeah, so people hated us because of that. So I know what it's like to a certain degree to be at least at a relatively high level of competition. I know that, I mean, I used to play that game every single night, all night, like 2 to 3 hours a night. And this was in the days of dial-up. My first phone bill for that game was £500 in a month.
I love this back in the days.
I was just gonna say you're dating yourself a little bit, but I definitely remember it. Yeah.
You guys ever play Delta Force?
Yeah, oh, voxels, mate. Firing at pixels. It was wonderful.
Oh my god.
I don't even think I know what it is.
Delta Force 2, Delta Force Land Warrior, Delta Force Task Force Dagger, Black Hawk Down, and Joint Ops. Joint Ops was my last one, but damn, I love that game. Black Hawk Down, best first-person shooter ever in the entire world, in my opinion. It was the only game to successfully implement a left and right lean. Did you ever play Black Hawk Down, Chad?
Yeah, I think I did play a little bit of it, but not that much.
It was the only one to successfully implement the left and right lean.
Toggleable or like a macro? Or,
yeah,
okay.
Q and E were your lean buttons.
There you go.
Okay, and it wasn't like you just barely tilt over. No, you lean. I mean, you by God lean over, and your feet would not be sticking out. That's how awesome it was. But it made some really cool elements, like claymores were now a factor. They weren't as overpowered as they are like in Battlefield, where you can't really destroy them. You just like run around the corner, bam, you're dead. You could kind of lean around the corner, you could look at it, and you could shoot it and blow it up before you went around the corner. It made it a lot more tactical. But anyways, I brought the whole Delta Force thing up because Chad was talking about there was no TeamSpeak servers. You had to type everything. And I remember having some scrims where, you would type things through. And
you learned to type very quickly, and you also learned abbreviations very quickly.
Shorthand. You don't type quickly, you just do shorthand.
No vowels. Yep.
And over here in chat, to one of the guys over here, he's asking, why would you play Battlefield as opposed to Counter-Strike?
That's a good question, though. I mean,
everybody has their own thing. Me personally, I hate Counter-Strike. I don't like the game. I don't like the mechanics of the game. I don't like the way the gunplay feels. I think, and this is my personal opinion, I think the way the gunplay and the mechanics of it work, it's just ridiculous. And yes, I haven't learned how to shoot it. You're right. I haven't learned how exactly to do it like a pro. And I'm not going to. Because it's frustrating to me. It's just it's.
And I don't like the single death. Like that's.
And I don't like the single death. Oh my god.
The thing is, I don't mind it. What I found it difficult is after playing so much Battlefield 3 and Battlefield 4, is the lack of aim down sight. I don't know why,
That's a
but
big step too.
the thing is,
Yeah,
I mean, I've played Counter-Strike 1.6, I played Source, and I've played CS:GO. As a Counter-Strike game, I prefer 1.6 because
Yeah.
the movement of the players in 1.6 seemed more natural. The players in Source, they seemed to kind of, it was like they were on a treadmill. The speed at which they ran wasn't the speed at which they moved. It was like they were running in slow motion, but they were moving faster than they actually were. Plus, they were all hunchbacks. They were all hunchbacks like this.
Now-
And the thing is, it took out it. I couldn't get over those things, so it pulled me out of the game as a result of that. I mean, to be honest, I've commentated on some 1.6 games, and some of the plays I've seen there, I mean, AWPers who were just like, you just have to even peek a pixel, bang, the fucking headshot. Just absolutely amazing plays from some incredible players.
It doesn't mean, like,
and the thing is, it's like you're saying, you kind of learn the game in that respect. But yeah, I understand where they're coming from, because essentially, when you're talking about Counter-Strike, it is essentially a proven game over the course of time.
Yeah, it's a refined game, and I'm not going to deny it.
that doesn't mean you don't respect
It
the
takes
people to play
skill
it, right? Yeah, yeah.
to play it.
Gotcha.
It's
Exactly
just
what I'm
not
saying.
my thing.
Exactly.
Yeah,
No,
exactly.
It's just
Yeah.
like, why don't all of
It
the
doesn't-
Dota people just play League of Legends?
That's
It's the
the
same
thing.
thing.
It's
No,
the
it's
thing.
not. It's not.
But the trouble is this is something that happens a lot on YouTube, is the fact that, say, for example, like you're saying, Brett, you don't like CSGO, but there are people who will then, that will basically,
hate on it.
who will hate on you
Yeah, I agree.
because they say to you that, or their impression is basically, you hate CSGO, they love CSGO, therefore you hate them. Which is not true. You
Like,
don't hate them.
I'll watch-
It's just that game does not technically blow your skirt up. So as far as you're concerned,
What just
that
happened?
doesn't make it a bad game. That doesn't make you a bad person. It just means you have different tastes. But there are some people out there who are so fanatical about their game that they can't see that other people might not like the game. If they don't like the game, then there's obviously something clinically wrong with them.
Well, you're a noob, or you like the watered down arcadey and the what was
Exactly,
what was the
yeah.
thing I just said? IEM, was that Katowice, or what was it? What was the big
Yeah,
tournament?
yeah,
Oh,
Katowice and
I watched
IMS.
I
Or not
watched some of
IMS,
that.
I am.
It was in
IM.
Poland, right?
that was in Poland with Sir Scoots, who is fantastic.
I watched some of that CS:GO. I've never played CS:GO. I'm not a fan. I mean, I played Counter-Strike 1.6 and mods and stuff. I was terrible at it. I enjoyed it, and it's probably might have been. You could almost make the argument what lit my FPS fire, but I enjoyed watching the cast.
Yeah, but the thing is, you see, that to me is the bread and butter of being a good caster. Is you can bring in people who don't normally watch the game, and you can still make it entertaining to them. Because at the heart of it, in any good series, that's why I feel you need game knowledge. You need knowledge of the teams. Because behind all the teams is a story. Like, for example, you're going into the finals of EMS, for example. Who are the rivals going into EMS? How much rivalry has there been?
For a guy like me who knows nothing.
You look at
And I'm
you look
tuning
at
in.
Fnatic and Dignitas. These guys played as obviously Epsilon and Six Fins in Battlefield 3. They have played together so much. There is so much rivalry there that you can build up that,
Organization-wise,
and you can bring that into as part of the overall arcing story. And that's a lot of things that you have with Counter-Strike, because it's such a game that's
gone
been
on forever.
around for so long, is you have a lot of that history. You have a lot of that kind of aspect of things. Now, things that happened recently, I don't know if you saw on Twitter, I was following, because I follow Sir Scoots, and what happened recently with COD, the COD champions, Complexity, were not allowed to wear their T-shirts by Activision.
Really?
Yeah,
What was the?
they didn't want. They did.
No
I
branding.
don't know.
No branding at
Yeah,
all.
I
probably.
guess so. I guess so. But the point
I mean, if
was,
it's a blanket,
is that it's just like, yeah. But the point is that it's like this team and this organization
champions.
has supported your game, has forward, and so Sir
Understood.
Scoots made the suggestion. It's like, well, make a statement, leave, just walk out.
Yeah.
It's like, because at the end of the day, what you're talking about is an organization that plays any game lives and dies by its reputation. That's why, you see organizations who then are sullied by a certain scandal or something like that. You'll see a lot of those organizations end up getting wound up, because with that wind up goes the actual bad reputation and the name start afresh, new name, new chance, all the rest of it, all that kind of stuff. But I mean, I was watching some of the oh god, what was it? I was watching some of the bits and pieces for LOL, and you know, I do play LOL occasionally. I'm working on something with some friends, but I still find it entertaining. Yeah, Brett's shaking his head, but the thing is, I still found it entertaining. It was just on a basic level of entertainment, even if it's not something, you know. And to me, that's what I've said about shoutcasters, is that if he's a good shoutcaster, he can make a traffic jam sound interesting. And that is what I mean. The thing is, talking to Brett, one of the most difficult thing to do in shoutcasting is fill dead air and keep it interesting.
Well, that's what
so hard.
I was actually going to say to you guys, like, I've done enough podcasts now. Like, I was mocking Puppy. Me and Puppy go a long time back. That's why. But we've had podcasts. We've only done 5 of this with us, but we've done probably 20 or 30 with another. You know, we've had podcasts that just don't work. There's no vibe. There's no chemistry, and it's okay. And you know, it's forced. You know, and that's tough. It's the same idea. And like tonight, it was great. It was just like I could sit back and I read more chat than I normally do, and you know,
because you couldn't get a word in. That's why.
But it's not not necessarily in a bad way. Not
Not
necessarily in a bad way, you know. But like I could, like you said, you could serve the person, and then just all right. He's gonna talk for a little while. I'm gonna go over here. Yeah. It's the same idea. It's filling dead air is so awkward. It even goes back to the YouTube thing where you're saying where you edit and you script and you want it to be natural and flow and have a rhythm and it just comes across so much better. And like you're saying, like with League, I don't play League at all.
The thing is with a good caster, and this is something that Chadman and myself have talked about, and we have experienced our frustration. That was a completely wrong word, but I'm getting tired. Not that I should use tired as an example because it's like 5 a.m. for Chad. But one of the things that we have expressed our frustration, there we go, for especially like Battlefield, is that they bring in casters who are not familiar with Battlefield. And it makes for a very awkward time. Now, there are certain casters who are not very familiar with Battlefield that can do a really good job. A good example of this is Golden Boy for the win.
I was going to ask you guys' opinion on that.
He is Chadman put it great. He put it the best way I could ever word it. He's a professional.
Yeah.
I was watching him tonight on the COD Champs. Him, Chris Puckett, and who's the other? Not Benson, but the other British guy.
Benson's the only other one I know.
No. There's another one. Anyways, those 3 guys, they are true professionals. Okay? The rest of them, I don't like because they go off on these.
Yeah.
The game is happening right in front of you.
They try to be hip.
They're talking about what happened yesterday at lunch.
Yeah.
You know, that was so. The Pyrogen match between Fnatic and Pyrogen. One of the worst things about that was the fact that you had 2 people that were casting it that really were not involved too much in the Battlefield scene. Kaplan was, but the thing was that they were talking about random subjects when there is a huge upset happening here. It's like I said before, the last seed against the first seed, and the last seed is winning, not just by a little bit, they're crushing them. And we're not hearing any of it. It's like, come on guys, you know, a good casting team and a good caster, they bring in the crowd, they're able to explain what's going on and still be entertaining. And I'm going to tell you straight up, I'm still working on it. I do not like the way I cast most of the time. I go back and I watch them, and I'm disappointed. You can't
I watch back all my.
I do the same thing.
I watch back, listen back all my casts, every single one of them. And what annoys me more than anything is when I start repeating words. That's the hardest thing. Just fucks me off so much.
There's always something.
Absolutely annoys a living piss out of me. But one thing I've also learned over the course of time is that some of the things that you can do to sort of build up drama, you know, we're talking about dead air, is the use of silence to build drama. Like, so for example, you know, you do the standard ramping up that you would do over the course of the thing, but then all of a sudden,
let the game play.
You throw them a curveball by getting to a very intense moment and then stopping and then getting very quiet and building up that tension and building it up in the same way that you would almost to a certain degree tell a scary story to a child. Right. You would build up that tension.
Yeah.
You would build up the suspense. You would build up the story.
Well, I think That's probably one of the big, like he's talking about, like, some of these guys, they feel like they need to talk all the time or need to be making noise. And a lot of times you just shut up. Like, just let the game breathe a little bit and then tell me what happened. I don't need... Play-by-play isn't every second of every match. It's, you tell me what's going on. It doesn't have to be a word every second. But they just, like you said, they start talking about what they have for lunch or this nade spot or,
And this is you said you were possibly interested in getting in the casting.
Oh, I'm just saying I'd love to do it.
I've had many bad experiences with people who've said they wanted to cast. Back several months ago, maybe a year ago, I was inviting any and all who wanted to try casting because I saw a gap that needed to be filled. I couldn't fill it all because I was one person that was trying to do everything, and it was just too much. So I was trying to bring in other people to help out. I was trying to bring in people to cast CGL, TWL, CEVO, WEL, all these other leagues that were popping up, but they had matches all on the same night. Right. And I had this vision, I had this idea in my head that maybe we could build this this brand, and I created
casting.
I made this brand called Battlefield Replays, and I had this idea that what we would do is we'd create a YouTube channel, and everybody would collectively, there'd be like 4 or 5 of us that would be casting all these leagues, and we'd upload to this channel as well as to our own. But we would upload to this one channel, and it would be a place where people could see multiple leagues and multiple matches done by obviously multiple different casters that could all be mixed and matched with each other. That could do tournaments and everything like that, but it would be a place where they could all go and view their content.
I think
unfortunately, it's very hard to find good casters.
It's not easy. Yeah.
The trouble is nowadays everybody calls themselves a caster.
Exactly, and not only that, but people freeze. The best thing that I can tell you, be yourself.
Right. You have to,
just like a conversation, back and forth. Just like we're talking right now, this is the way you would kind of cast, except for you would direct it more towards whatever you're doing, whatever you're casting. I had a guy, this is a funny story, but anyways, if you knew him, it'd be even better. He was a riot in TeamSpeak. I mean, hilarious. You scrimmed with the guy, you played with the guy. He was hilarious. Jokes for days. I was like, dude, I have to get you in on a cast. Not only was he funny, but he was knowledgeable about the game. He was an amazingly good
whole package, right?
Okay, and I was like, dude, I have got to get you as a color. You would be amazing. I get him in, completely different person, monotone, no jokes. I'm sitting here, I crack a joke, and he's just like, yeah, okay, so we got 2 guys that are gonna be pushing up here, and it's just like, what? Like, come on, man.
That sounds like you know, started YouTube for sure.
And he just completely changed his attitude, and the people were like, this feels forced. And yeah, it was forced. The guy was just like, you have to kind of let it flow. But at the same time, you can't just, like we were saying before, you can't be talking about, some random story the other day. You got to stick with somewhat, within the content that you're doing. And you just be yourself, have fun with it. Chat with the other player like you would normally talk with somebody. Have rises and falls within your voice. There are exciting moments in the game, and then there are just kind of moments that you just kind of talk about that are normal, that type of thing. And so that right there is something that people have a really hard time. Another thing that people have a hard time with, and this is kind of surprising, and Chad, I don't know if you've had people talking about this. People say that they don't like the sound of their own voice, and it throws them off.
I think that's normal.
Never heard of that until I started live streaming. Until I started live streaming, people were like, does the sound of your own voice throw you off? It's like,
you don't really hear it.
I don't understand that. Because
I hated it. I hated it when I first did it. I absolutely hated it. God, yeah.
See,
but now,
I don't understand.
But the thing is, it's just like, well, okay. When you hear your own voice, it sounds different to when you actually hear it recorded, because essentially your head acts as an echoing chamber. And granted, there are some people on the internet where there's a lot more echo than there is for other people. But the thing is, so as a result, it takes a little bit of getting used to when you hear your own voice as recorded, because you think, oh my God, do I actually really sound like that? And sometimes some people can get over it quite quickly. Some people, it will always be in the back of their mind. For some other people, you just kind of you get used to it, you deal with it, and you move on.
Yeah, I mean, I'm 600-700 YouTube videos in. I'm over my own voice, and
Yeah.
you know, there's a comfort of. I mean, tonight we are in front of a camera, but there is a comfort. I mean, I've spent 300 videos probably just sitting here, my dog sitting on the floor, and a microphone, and talking to myself, and that's not easy either. You know, that was probably the hardest thing for me is there's no audience. Like right here, I feel. I mean, at least I got you guys that are an immediate audience, and you know, then there's chat. But when you're making a YouTube video, it's like you gotta pretend. You know, to not be monotone, you gotta pick your tones and how to deliver, and you have to simulate it. So it would almost be nice to have something in front of you to get excited about, and literally like the visual cues and the, you know, to dictate to you when, you know, how to deliver it. So it would be interesting.
There's another aspect also. One thing I mean, I don't know whether or not you're aware. I struggle really badly with like really serious depression, like really bad, absolutely huge mood swings. I mean, you know, PMT looks like nothing in comparison, but and so I regard myself as so extraordinarily blessed that the caster that you hear, I can switch on like a light switch. And I feel so blessed by that I have gone into some of the most excitable casts that you've heard me do. I have had the worst fucking day when it comes to moods.
Right.
I've done that before. I can understand it. I can see that.
Yeah, you turn the mic on.
You turn the mic on, and
then again,
it's kind of the thing is it's something also that I talked to a friend of mine about Total Biscuit, because when you meet him, he is not really Total Biscuit. He is John
he's
Bain.
A character.
Yeah, kind of like a character. But he's saying that as events go on, to a certain degree, that line between Total Biscuit and John Bain is starting to get either smaller or starting to get more blurred.
That's scary, probably.
But it is a scary Sure. But the thing is, it's like, do you embrace that, or do you accept that there should be a barrier between the person, the caster that you are, and the person that you are?
I think it's hard to say.
The thing is, the two are intertwined. Your style for casting is as much about your makeup as a person, your approach to life, how you see things, how you talk, how you intone, how you think about various things like that, and what excites you. You know, you might see an amazing moment that I might not think is amazing because I've seen it or I've done it, but you've never seen that before, and you think, holy shit, that is absolutely mind-blowing. And because of that, it means that you will intone that in a different way. You will regard it in a different way, and you will translate it to the audience in a different way.
I think another thing too, there's a difference between YouTubers and casters.
Oh, definitely.
And Culprit,
That's
you may
why
be able to
YouTubers
identify
calling
with this
themselves
too.
commentators.
I agree.
Because see, like myself and Chadman, I know you just said you can turn it on and off, but to a certain extent, that is you.
Oh, I agree.
You know, and I think that as a YouTuber, you can create and build this character of
100%.
You know, this person. You know, this is Culprit right here. But with myself, and this is one of the beautiful things about YouTube and Twitch, especially. And I'm glad that I got into it, because actually before Twitch, I was a very reserved person. I was the guy that sat in the back of the classroom. I was the guy that was the last one to complain about anything. I was the last one to offer my opinions about anything. Now, hell, hey, you got any opinions?
2 hours later.
Yes, you know.
If anything, it's a struggle to stop you. Yeah,
exactly.
Yeah, I know.
Chadman's like, mute. But you know, I think Twitch, though, with being a shoutcaster, is that you put yourself out there.
You got to be honest with yourself.
I think that Twitch or that shoutcasting is a really good way to show who that person is.
I agree.
Because you have to put yourself into your cast, you have to put it into your work, because it is live, it's not recorded. You know, you don't get a chance to redo. No, once you say it, it's done. You know, whereas when you're on YouTube, you can kind of build up that I don't want to say fake persona, but it's almost like a fake persona. Like for instance,
the thing is, what you're talking about there is not so much a fake persona, but this is the kind of thing that you see actors do if they're doing, for example, farce, or the characters that they play within a farce are sometimes not so much themselves, but a caricature of themselves, or at least certain aspects of themselves magnified, so that, you know, they're a little bit more sort of intense than they would be normally under other circumstances.
Yeah, I mean, I have, like I said, I sit here, I have probably 400 or 500 videos on my main channel. There's like 5 of them, maybe, that are live comms, like where I'm playing the game and just live talking, because I suck at it, and I don't think it's engaging. Other people might find it interesting, and some of them probably were not bad, but to me, it's like that. Like you said, that live, while you're doing 8 different other things, it's not good, and live's hard, man. Even though I'll do a lot of, I'll probably do 80% of my videos in one take. You know, in the back of your head, you can do another take if you got to, but whereas you're live, yeah. And it is. It's not easy.
But also the advantage of that means it's warts and all. So any mistakes you make, you can kind of correct on the fly. But right. I like the fact that it's the same with listening to live music, is that there's improvisation available. There's exactly. Adapting to those mistakes.
You need to roll it in.
Yeah, and from that, wonderful things can occur.
Yeah, you roll it into your personality.
You can roll with the punches. One of the things that I love about live casting is that when I do mess up, I can use that to kind of fill some of the dead time that may be there. One of my favorite things, is when I'm casting with somebody else, and I may stumble upon a word or something that sounds like something wrong, and you can just make a joke out of it, or
that's
something
the thing.
like that.
I'm the first person to jump on that bandwagon when you and I cast together. I'd be like, what have you done to our language today, sir? But the whole is to make a joke out of it.
I don't know. As a viewer, like, that makes me identify with you guys more. Everybody's human. Like, you're not a robot, and it like, self-deprecating humor is definitely a way to make me your friend. Because that's what I'm all about. I'll pick on myself more than anybody. So if you're gonna say a mistake and then you're gonna point it out yourself and have a laugh about it and then move on to business, I'll sub to the guy right there. It's part of where you like really, I think, separate yourself from if everybody just did the play-by-play, what's the difference? So it's kind of those little quirks, like you were saying. That really separate you and kind of identify with who you are. So that's what I.
You can have a lot of fun with it too.
Yeah, you can. I mean, if you find the kind of person who knows that, obviously, when Brett and I cast together, or even when we just chat together, our banter back and forth is constant. We will rip the living piss out of each other all day. It's just, but that's part of the fun, because he knows that I don't mean it. I know that he doesn't mean it, and it's all part of the fun, and it's all part of the repartee and the back and forth of it. But it's another thing that I saw Total Biscuit discussing, is the fact that when you go onto YouTube and as you start to get bigger and bigger, is that YouTube becomes entirely about personality. Because, like, for example, the content is there, but people come to see you, the person. And to a certain degree, when you go out there and you're creating a lot of this kind of creative stuff and things of that nature, you are essentially putting yourself out there for criticism. And sometimes it's a case of somebody will make a comment that will hit you particularly hard. Other times they'll be like, yeah, whatever, dude, I don't really care.
Well, it depends on each individual's kind of Achilles heel, so to speak, or what they, I think I know the video you're talking about with him, and it hit home. I mean, I'm small time, but even then, like, I can get 90 positive comments on a video, but I'll hearken on the one that just he didn't know it, but he hit that nerve that I am self-conscious about. You know what I mean? Like you said, you listen to your own stuff, and you're like, man, that's not right. This guy just took a swing and he hit it.
Yeah.
And it doesn't matter. All the other it's human nature. It's with anything.
Absolutely.
It's not even YouTube. it's anything, but it just happens to be exemplified on the internet, thankfully. But
it's kind of it's magnified in many ways as well. So, like, it's that kind of, you have a lot of people who are sort of that cult of personality that's very happening with celebrities at the moment, that kind of expectation that they are perfect and all the rest of it, and they're human beings and they're just as flawed as everybody else out there. So it's kind of having to deal with that. I mean, there is the fear of disappointing somebody because you can't play a game with them or something like that. It's just because you don't have the time. And it's not to say that you don't like them, which is sometimes how it gets interpreted. It's just a case of, dude, I don't have the time. I've got so much I need to do. Plus, I've got a real life job that I have to hold down. I can't dedicate the time. It's not you. It's just the fact of my life, you know. Yeah, and so it gets to a situation where, you know, this is what Total Biscuit was talking about engagement with your audience. At what point do you step back from engaging with your audience once your audience gets to a certain size? Do you have to put the wall up in order to survive?
And it's true.
I just find it interesting.
I do too, because...
But Brett obviously doesn't, looking at his... he's rocking back and forth like a disapproving grandma. All he needs now is basically, you know,
he's
talk about the Deep South and a quilt to go over his legs.
He's clearly sent Total Biscuit some messages that he hasn't replied to, so he's...
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah, we've hit a nerve, man.
No, I think... Well, see, this just may be me, but I've never had any problems with negative comments. I've had people blast me before, and I was just like, whatever, dude. But, you know, like live streams, for instance, you know, one of the biggest rules for live streaming when you're casting is do not engage negative comments on the stream. Just don't. General, now, I'm not saying that I've never done it, because I have done it before. But, you know, I've had a crowd of, you know, a couple thousand people within stream, and I've noticed a comment that pops up, and I watch my chat now, not during my cast, but before and after I watch my chat now, just to interact a little bit more with them, because I did need to do that. I wasn't doing it before. But I had a rule several months ago to where I would not look at chat ever. I would open up I would make sure my stream is working, and I would minimize it. Yeah. And I would put it away. But nothing good is going to come out of you responding to a negative comment, in my opinion.
That's why I don't do it.
I think that all it's going to do is, it'll irritate you, for one, especially if you're live casting, or if you're whatever you're doing that's live. It'll throw you off. You'll get flustered. You'll get irritated. It'll start, you know, weighing on your mind. And to be honest with you, who cares? You know, that guy. I mean, hell, I've had people in chat, you know, tell me I'm ugly, or I look like shit, or I'm a shitty caster, or I don't know shit, or just anything like that. But, you know, it's like, okay, whatever. Yeah. For every negative comment that there's out there, there's usually 10 good ones.
Oh yeah, and that's what you have to remind yourself.
You know, it's really awesome too, because a lot of times, kind of like what you were saying with you know, Total Biscuit saying he's putting up a wall. Well, he can put up that wall. And that wall is going to be made up of his subs that support him.
I love that. When I'm like you, I don't try to reply to the negative. Sometimes it's hard. You're human. You had a bad day. But, like, I'm at work, right? Somebody makes a bad comment in the morning, a video I launch at 11 a.m. By the time I get home and I'm going to sit down and reply, there's 5 replies from subs. Yep. Just telling them why they're wrong. And you're like...
And a lot of time, you don't have to do it.
No, you don't.
Your subscribers, your viewers will take care of it for you.
That's when you know you're doing it right.
I did a stream...
Oh yeah, I completely understand where you're coming from, but also there's also, as with everything, there's a negative side to that. That if for whatever reason somebody is providing you with, you know, positive positive comment and all the rest of it. Well, not so much positive, but constructive criticism, and they disagree with it. They immediately leap. Yeah, exactly. The sharks start circling and then go after this person. So. The thing is, the way I see it, I mean, if I ever get into that situation, I'll be like, guys, I'm a big boy. I can take care of myself. I can fight my own battles. I appreciate it.
Right.
But I would not ever support any of my subscribers going after somebody just because I've had a disagreement or argument with them.
No, I don't mean actually going out and attacking. I'm talking about just purely
support. Yeah, I know what you're saying. Yeah.
We had, back in the Level BF 10v10 chat, not the one that me and you were supposed to cast, but I don't know if you cast the... Did you cast the one in December?
I hear my son for that.
I don't know.
I'll be right back.
All right. But anyways, that 10v10, there was a huge problem. There's a mess up within the rules. It was my fault, but there was a mess up. And one of the teams ended up getting basically rule fucked out of the tournament. And they probably were one of them that could have won it. They were a really good team. One of their players just kept on and kept on and kept on and kept on saying shit in chat. And I told the Level BF members, I was like, look, don't say anything. If you don't say anything, our stream or our viewers will take care of it. They'll tell the guy to go away, and it'll be that. And for an hour, it was fine. The guy would say something, and then we would have 10, 15 viewers say, dude, give it a rest. And it would go away. And then it'd pop up, and the viewers would do the same thing. And then one of the level BF guys banned him for like an hour or 30 minutes. And then that started the shit up. And that's what I'm talking about when I mean that your viewers will defend you. They'll take care of those negative comments. I don't want people to go after somebody. I always thought it was super childish when you have these YouTubers that are like, oh, go over to this video and tell this guy he sucks.
He's a dick, yeah.
Yeah, I don't agree with that. That's just retarded.
That's abuse. That's abuse of responsibility, in my opinion.
Yeah, but I have no problems with people on my personal channel. If somebody says, hey, Brett, you're a dick, and somebody on my channel saying, hey, dude, cool it, he's a good guy. Yeah. Just leave him alone. I have no problem with that. Me neither. And I'll take down, negative comments that just look bad on my channel, because if they're insulting personally or anything like that, to me personally, I'll take them down. If it's about my content, usually I'll leave them up.
Yeah.
But a lot of times I want to take down the really, really negative ones because, and you're in the same boat as I am, we have people looking at our content that have potentials of sponsoring us or have giving us opportunities to go in different places within casting. So we have to clean it up to a certain extent, and I think that if they can see a good subscriber base, defending you, I think that that's also a good thing.
Yeah, absolutely.
You guys are still talking.
We do forever and ever.
Well, I'm going to have to end it there, I'm afraid, because it's 5 a.m. and I could probably do some sleep.
I forgot about your time. No, that's a good note. I don't know what you guys are even talking about. But, no, guys, I want to say thank you because, I know I've been sitting here hosting or whatever, but I feel like I've been a dude in the chat just kind of throwing questions at you, and I know I've learned a lot, just insight on what goes on. And I hope some of the guys in chat, we still got 20 people sitting around listening to us just BS about putting commenters on blast, but I appreciate it, and I would like to do this again. Hopefully, if you guys are in, anytime, I'm not as plugged in as you guys are, obviously. So we've
only talked about 0.00001% of our views.
Well, I like to talk. I know Puppy likes to talk. Well, usually that's what happens. We do a podcast. We have guests on. People hang out for a little while, and then they go. They got to go. People got to go. But me and Puppy will sit here, and we'll be talking. So it's nice to meet some guys that might match us. Unfortunately, he's a little under the weather. But
well, see, the funny thing is that we've been here for, 3 hours now?
Yeah.
This is like a third of a tournament for us.
Yeah, pretty much.
So this is like we're just getting started, broski. We're heating up.
you didn't hear about the record that I made then, Culprit.
Oh my God! Yes. Okay. So this is Chad's record.
Chad's record, 18 hours. On air.
18 hours? Of
18 hours
Battlefield 3, I'm guessing?
On Battlefield 4.
4?
Casting a LAN. I was on air for 14 hours.
The
previous best to that was,
what was
Counter-Strike, believe it or not. It was the NorthCon event in Germany.
That's what it was.
18 hours. Towards the end, I'd run out of Red Bull and I'd run out of chocolate, and it was starting to get a little messy.
Run out of nerves, I guess. Too.
Oh, mate, I tell you, and I went... I've got a problem. I've got a problem with the mattress I need to replace here, but it's a little bit uncomfortable at times. But holy crap, it never felt so comfortable that night. Jesus Christ, I sank into that bastard.
Yeah, you're just mentally drained. But
I was.
Sure. Well, dude, like I said, Culprit, thanks. All of chat, thank you, appreciate it. I hope that we weren't too boring, but
I don't think so.
Anytime.
Myself.
Anytime you want to have us on or have me on or whatever,
we'll do this again for sure.
We need more YouTubers to get involved within the competitive scene because they don't understand what a competitive player is. The people have this image of a competitive player as somebody who is an elitist, who uses the easiest of the easiest. They know all the cheap tricks, and
they think it's someone like Level Cap.
Yeah, they're
which is not to do a disservice.
Right, absolutely.
That is not to do a disservice to Level Cap. He does a great job at what he does, but he is essentially not a competitive player.
Guys do what they do, right? Yeah.
Exactly.
So you guys having YouTubers like yourself, and I hope we can get more. Tim is talking about, actually. Oh my God,
I love that. Are you okay? Over. Are you in an earthquake? What is going on over there?
No, that was my dog. She just walked under my table and pulled the cables.
Wow.
You're still here?
Whew, I have 3 monitors that just about went over. Oh my god!
I would have had it documented.
We need more YouTubers like you guys to help.
Yeah, I'd love to help. I mean, I mean, we'll do this again for sure. Like, that's what I was gonna say. If you guys think there's something to talk about, hit us up. We'll do it. You know, like
Danger, Will Robinson. Never say that to a shoutcaster.
I know. But yeah, no. I mean, seriously, you guys. I mean, I've hit both of you guys up. I'm interested in. I can't play in it. You know, but if I get help in any way, document it or expose it, yeah, that's fine. Fluff it even.
Yeah, I will say, some point made in chat, X Factor was one of the few YouTubers that play competitively.
Yeah, and I think he stayed pretty true to what he started. I mean, a lot of people don't like on him, hate on. I don't know. I don't have a beef with him. He is what he is. He's never. Really
I have no issue with X Factor.
Yeah, I don't get it.
I mean, he helped improve my game with a lot of the tips he gave in Battlefield 3. So you know,
I got no problem.
No matter what people say about him, the thing is, I'm not going to hate on somebody just because other people hate on them.
Yeah, you're an individual that can make up your own mind. That's
exactly.
Rare supply.
I'm gonna go with no comment.
Yeah.
This I want to get off air, right?
No. It's you know what it's like. It's just history and all the rest of it.
Well, that's sure. Well, you have a more personal relationship, so you actually know the man, I would assume. But it's not even about him. It's just about YouTubers. Like you said, you can find anybody that hates anybody and anybody that's a fanboy of anybody. It's just make your own decisions. And I mean, it doesn't really have anything to do with here or there. But
in the grand scheme of things, he's done some really good stuff. But there are particulars that are bad. But if it wasn't for him and Rival, I wouldn't be sitting here today.
Yeah, it's pretty cool. I didn't know that whole story. That was pretty cool.
You know, I have that to thank for him. So I am. You know, I do appreciate him for spending the time of doing this. You know, doing what he did to get us involved. But yeah, I'm going to leave it at that.
No, I think that's pretty safe. But,
yeah, that's fair. Can't argue with that one, mate.
No, I had fun. I learned a lot, and like I said, I like to talk just as much. So anytime, guys, you're welcome. Hopefully, we'll have more.
Open
to
the
talk
floodgates.
About. Yeah, I mean that's really what it's going to come down to, right? Oblit small. Whenever that does drop, maybe we'll kind of earmark that. That would be great. And I was surprised when I did the Twitter tweet 2 days ago. There was a bunch of competitive guys. It must have been through you guys as you retweeted it. They were like, "Let me on." I was like,
"Yeah, Pesty
especially."
Yeah, and I was like,
Baz, you need to get on. Baz was head admin from ESL. He got that guy and can play competitively.
Okay.
He organizes really well and he knows his shit and he's a good guy.
Yeah,
despite
that
being
was the
from
guy
Holland.
that you guys both were like, yeah. So I mean, hey, if it's a thing and people are interested, I'd love to do it. And if there's enough to talk about, you know, that's really
It's like I told
what I'm
Tim.
saying,
There's plenty to talk about. You just have to be willing to go out there and find the information. You know.
Yeah, I love. I mean,
yeah, it's just the thing is that people don't want to go out and look for the events, the tournaments, stuff like that, and they're like, "Oh, there's nothing out there for comp." Yeah, there is.
It's not comp, it's the game. You know what I mean? Like, nobody wants to chronicle a demise. Do you know what I mean? Like, and it has nothing to do with the organizations or anything. It's the game. Like, is the game going to do something?
Yeah.
You know, like, I don't want to... I don't know.
Sorry, can I just interrupt? A wonderful term in chat when they say the dude is so full of himself. In brackets, level cap. Well, of course he's full of himself. Who else is he going to be full of?
he's a YouTuber.
It's just a wonderful... No, it's not that. It's a wonderful term. Think about it from just a basic physics level. Yeah. Of course he's going to be full of himself. He wouldn't be full of anyone else, would he?
I mean, I don't know. I'm privy. I'm kind of like I straddle the fence because I know Bumbles and I know what he's saying, and there's some of that vibe from Level, but I'm a YouTuber too, and I like to hear myself talk, and I like to get likes, so it's the same idea, you know. Like I'm not that far removed, but
yeah, I mean, I can't lie. I am subscribed to Level Cap, and I do constantly watch.
I like his videos.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, you know, he seems like the kind of guy that I could probably get on quite well with.
Yeah.
But that's the kind of
But he plays airsoft, not paintball, so he's just like down
come on now, airsoft for life. No, I don't play either.
What?
I have no time to do anything.
The first time I ever played paintball, I was playing for work, and the guy said, "Yeah, let's go along, play some paintball." Yeah, great idea. It turned out I was playing against two guys who were ex-South African Special Forces.
Well,
shot me in the fucking arse from 3 feet away.
Well, okay, so I'm involved more in tournament ball than I am in the rec ball side of things. But Well, shit, right there, I got about $5,000 worth of paintball
I was
equipment.
just gonna say under my bed here, like right here, I have like
But
not that much, but yeah.
but yeah, I don't know. It's airsoft. Like, come on, man. Grow some balls, play some paintball.
I'm tactical. I'm all tactical. I want that's.
You
I just
can
want
be
stuff that looks neat.
tactical and
Dude, I don't
paintball.
play. I don't have time. I just
I
get
don't.
it
I don't
'cause
have
it
the
looks
time or the
cool.
money
Yeah,
either.
that's what I mean.
It's
It's
expensive.
it was this thing. Me and my buddy at work were like, we're literally at work like order. It comes in. You're like, cool. It sits under my bed now. So
Yeah.
I would love
Excellent.
to play. Like maybe when my sons get older, we'll shoot. I took it out the
Yeah,
other
shoot
day.
your sons. That'll work out well.
Hey, they're
Damn.
my sons. I can do what I want. I got high fences.
All right, guys. Well, I'm gonna go ahead and head out.
Yeah, I know. He said he
yeah,
had to leave
same
too,
here,
but
man.
Talk to
alright.
you later.
No, guys, really, we'll do this again. Hopefully,
Yeah.
mini oblit, something like that. Maybe consoles launch, something good. But chat, thank you so much again. Whether this gets uploaded or not, I don't know. But yeah, guys, take it easy. I'm gonna stop the stream. Thank you very much, guys. Take care.